Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Open Discussion with C3 Films. My name is Chris, and this is.
Cheryl.
And today we are talking about one of the best movies in the known universe. I don't care what any of y'all have to say in the chat. Come at me. This movie is perfect. It is the perfect 90s movie, and there has not been another alien invasion movie that's been as good as this till today. What do you have to say, Cheryl?
Tell us how you really feel, Chris. um, Independence Day. Happy day after Independence Day, everyone in America.
Yes.
So
Oh, by the way, we were going to talk spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie, there's something wrong with you. Go watch it. Just kidding. There's actually nothing wrong with you, but still go watch this movie and then come back and hang out with us. But we are getting into spoilers. So with that, let's go ahead and continue, Cheryl.
So I actually, don't hate me, did not actually see this movie until yesterday. Yesterday was, but
Cheryl!
I've seen parts of it and I just didn't know what I was watching. So it was interesting to like see the whole movie all in one go. Yeah, I can't explain why. Maybe it was like an access thing of why I never got to watch it when I was younger, and it just never occurred to me to watch it when things became more easily available, like on demand.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways,
I,
I was not disappointed. I feel like the effects really held up for like today's. It doesn't really look
really
like it was.
surprising.
Yeah, it looks good. It doesn't look like it was made in the '90s, to be honest.
Mm-mm.
The effects were pretty good. I applaud it. I'm impressed that it was done in the '90s. And the cast, I love the cast. Cast is amazing. Like every character, even the small characters, I'm like, oh, like I know who they are now because I've seen them in other stuff. Like there's two people from Mrs. Doubtfire, and
Mm-hmm.
there's like one of the officers was in Firefly, and he was also in Chug and stuff like that. So like I
Yeah.
recognize like so many people, and it's kind of awesome seeing
The
everyone.
dog. That was my favorite character. The dog.
Boomer.
You know that someone made that and there this is actually before the whole thing with the boomer became a thing, but like can't you just see someone naming the dog Boomer and then just being like, okay, Boomer, okay, Boomer.
That was a good dog name. It's funny because we also were doing Harry Potter for tonight, and the Hagrid's dog's name is Fang, and I was like, these dog names for these movies are pretty great, and
Yes, they are. Actually, they're amazing. And yeah, when you were just talking about the effects, there's only a couple of scenes where I know that I'm looking at a green screen. But overall, I look at this movie and I'm thinking to myself, how does this movie look better than the sequel that they did a couple of years ago? Like this movie looks more real than a lot of movies that come out now. And that is astonishing considering they didn't have the same level of computer CGI that we have today. So like it was definitely something that's very surprising to me going back because I watched this movie a lot to the point where I know all the lines of the movie. And when I'm watching it, I'm like quoting lines, and my roommate are just like, "Wow, you really have seen this movie a lot, haven't you?" But it's it's just really astounding to watch this in 2021 and not feel like the age of the movie. I literally had to ask when did this movie come out because I was about to I because I you can't look at it and immediately know. But it came out in like 96, I think.
mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think I remember like learning a little bit about the making of this movie, and I'm pretty sure a lot of the stuff is practical effects, and that's probably why it looks so good because
Yeah.
they I guess it's kind of like one of those movies where it's like just right in that sweet spot where like CGI wasn't good enough to be used for everything, but practical
Right.
effects were like at its highest point of like, you know, being believable and effective and stuff like that. And so they had like the perfect mixture of practical effects and special effects. So visual
Do
effects.
you think they use miniatures for this?
Yeah, no, 100%. The White House blowing up, I actually learned that that was a miniature and they blew it up. So,
They blew up a miniature.
mhm.
That's crazy because I always want to ask, like, this is going in the technical side of things, but like, what kind of lens do you put on a camera to like film something that, because I know Star Wars use miniatures too, but what kind of lens do you put on a camera to film something that small, but to get that level of detail? Like, that's that's crazy. I didn't like, I would never have thought they actually cause a mini explosion.
Yeah, they
I was
did
like, I kind of want to see
it.
that.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I feel like that would be a really good um movie to watch, the like a behind the scenes for, to see like how they made the movie because it's quite impressive for
Right?
1996.
Yeah. So, but one of the things about this movie is that, speaking of the destruction, it's a Roland Emmerich film. And if any of you guys have seen Roland Emmerich films before, he does disaster movies. So this is a disaster movie. But the thing that surprises me about this movie is when I turned it on, I was like, why is this movie 2 hours and 42 minutes? It's a long movie, surprisingly, and it's a disaster film. But one thing that this movie does that I don't notice as much with modern day disaster movies is that it takes a lot of time to develop characters and to play with tension and build up. And it's probably one of the most successful things about the film for me is that you go through 40 minutes of the movie before things start blowing up. And even then, this is like the rule about making a horror movie too, is that you don't always show your ghost, you don't show your apparition, you don't show the thing that's like terrorizing our people, and that can be scarier. We don't actually see what the aliens look like for about an hour and a half of this movie, and even then we only see what it looks like with armor on. So there's a good chunk where it just kind of feels like this otherworldly presence, this that's just invading, and there's nothing we can do about it because the odds are just so stacked against us, and that builds kind of tension, and creates excitement for trying to see how will these characters survive, how will they figure it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely felt that at the beginning. I was like, we're meeting a lot of people, we're meeting a lot of characters, and they're not just like all, you know, connected. Like you're meeting, you know, people from, you know, Central America, you know, in the farms and the trailer parks and stuff like that. But you also have like military, you have White House, you have guy who works at some like Xfinity or something,
Yeah,
Comcast or something.
right.
What is it? Cable?
Yeah, it's like cable news or no, cable network or something,
Yeah.
and he deals with signals. That's how he finds the
Mm-hmm.
signal for the alien mothership or whatever.
Yeah, and so you're meeting all these different people, from all walks of life, and my first thought is like, how are they all gonna connect later? And what I liked about it was that, no, it didn't just jump into like action and stuff. It like the a good chunk of the movie is character building, so it felt a lot
Oh
like a
yeah,
character film, until
yeah,
like the real action starts happening. Then you become more invested in what's gonna happen to the characters because you know who they are. You're rooting for them. You don't want them to die. You don't want them to lose and stuff like that. And you know you want the crazy vet guy to finally, you know, be prove everyone wrong about him not being crazy, like he really was abducted and stuff like that. And then, you know, surprisingly, he's the only person that really dies except for Marty, I guess. Jeff Goldblum's friend. Um,
yeah. Also, Will Smith's friend dies, and also the president's wife dies.
right. I was not happy that Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum survived. I was like, and I was like, okay, if pilot president is gonna go charge the alien ship. I'm gonna be mad if he survives unless they're like, oh, you gotta pull back, escort president away, protect president, and stuff like that, which they don't do. He's just a president of the United States who happens to be an amazing pilot and takes the first damage to the alien ship. Thanks America, like go America. And then also like there was a whole thing with them sending like Morse code to all the other countries, and then like the British people are like,
Good, it's about time.
it's about time, like, and they're
What do they
just
want to
like,
do?
so they were like, the whole world was just waiting for America to solve the problem for the rest of the world, and like during the movie, I'm just like, good job, America, good
Good
job.
job. Right? Yo, you're 100% right. We were saying the same thing. We were just like, yo, like the rest of the world can't figure this out. But I took a step back. I was like, okay, well, this is an American movie. It would feel weird from a story perspective to make it be like America's trying to do this thing, but hey, look, we heard Russia found a way to do this thing without actually just seeing Russia do it. So I was like, okay, for the sake of the movie story, I understand, but it definitely feels like one of those pro-America, like yeah, like gung ho yeehaw. Um, but the movie's also called Independence Day, which is an American holiday, so
Yeah.
fair enough.
Yeah, but it just I kind of rolled my eyes a little bit, and I was for sure making fun of it. But it's not the kind of movie that's supposed to be like super serious and make 100% sense and stuff like that. So I mean, it's a disaster movie. It's an American holiday disaster movie. So yes, it's gonna be a little red, white, blue, and it's fine.
Yeah.
But anyway,
But I
but
mean, the good thing about it is that it is fun. And if there is any message in the movie, it is this message about togetherness. It is a message about coming together and being one, which I did like that. Like the idea that they do launch a worldwide offensive against the aliens is really cool. And if the movie had more money, then we probably would have seen more of other nations engaging in the battles with the aliens simultaneously across the globe. But because the movie is doesn't have it has some money, but because it doesn't have that much, we spend most of our time in America. And truthfully, that's probably the reason why we don't see the aliens that much because they didn't have the budget to constantly show them.
yeah, but it works out in their favor, I suppose.
Yeah. No, I definitely think that it does. And even the progression of how the story goes feels realistic. Because I remember when I was a kid and I saw the people go to the top of the building to like greet the aliens and think to myself, why that's not realistic. People wouldn't actually do that. And then I got older and I realized, no, this is actually exactly what would happen.
Yeah, that was like totally normal. I think I 100% believe that people would do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean there's some stuff that's not like believable, but it's not supposed to be a realistic movie.
Hmm.
I think
Yeah.
I'm just really bummed that I d- maybe it's just me because it's
You wanted
me.
characters to
I
die.
wanted characters to die, and I was like, there's no way that all of our main characters are gonna survive, but they basically do, and all like the supporting characters die, like the ones that
Yeah.
you don't even remember. I think like the worst one is probably the first lady, but
Yeah.
like everyone else survived, and I was just like, what? How did they get back from the alien ship? Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum. I was like, for sure, they're like, even they thought they were gonna
They did. They thought
die.
it was a suicide mission. That's why he got married before he left because he didn't think he was going to get a chance to do it.
Yeah, I thought it was funny where he was like, I need like a cigar or like a cigarette or something that he brings up and up to uh the
Spaceship.
mothership, and that's like the last thing that he wants to have before he like dies, if he's gonna die. And I was like, If it were me, I would want a boba. I'd be like, someone bring me a boba. That's gonna be the last thing that I want to have if I'm gonna die.
Cheryl's gonna be that person that's gonna be like, "Yo, did you install cup holders in this? Because I need a cup holder. I gotta have my boba, and I'm gonna be flying at G forces, and I don't want my drink spilling everywhere. I do not want to clean boba off of like my control panel. So y'all better have a security thing, some type of like holder for me, because I'm gonna be also doing wheelies, loop de loops."
And don't you be giving me a paper straw because that's gonna disintegrate. So.
Yeah, right. You better hit me with the metal ones. Shoot. You gotta be like Jeff Goldblum in this movie. You gotta be like planet conscious, recycle, which they made sure they kept throwing it home. But there's a couple of like story things that happen that make sense as far as like characters and even just progression. So like for instance, we don't immediately attack the aliens. We try to communicate. We tell people to like not panic, which would happen. We get attacked. Of course, we're going to respond with military force, and then the military gets wiped out because we're not ready. It's like the movie does a good job of us like making it seem hopeless. And then even like small little character beats, like Will Smith wants to go and fly in space, and he gets rejected. But then by the end of the movie, he's the only person that can fly the spaceship into space, and so he gets to go to space. So it's really small, it's really basic, but it's something, and it at least can add a little bit of some type of feeling to the overall experience, even if your audience doesn't even realize that they're connecting with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely felt like it was a really fun movie. I think the ensemble was just great. Like all the characters were so different. You're just getting a taste of a little bit of everything. And there's a lot of stuff in the movie involving like characters and like who they are. Like there's just so much character development in the movie that it just makes it really fun seeing like all the relationships between each other, and then when they do all finally meet and how those relationships hash out. And uh one of my favorite characters was the scientist that was played by Brent Spiner, and I may have a little bias because
Is that Data?
yes, he plays Data in
Okay.
Star Trek, but like every time I see him in something not Star Trek, it's like so fun because in Star Trek he doesn't get to emote really. So when you see him in other stuff, like then he really gets to emote, and it's so good. It's so like his face, like his expressions are so good, and like I couldn't stop laughing.
Do you think that he died in this movie?
I think so.
Okay. Apparently, according to, because I saw Independence Day Resurgence, he survived.
Oh, spoiler.
Yeah.
I was gonna
So, I
watch
mean,
that after
well,
seeing
I
the first
mean, he
one.
appears in the beginning of the movie as a character that you like talk to, um, but it's just weird because this
He's an
movie makes
android.
him look very dead.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, there's not even a hint that he could be alive, like, and he's just unconscious. Like, he
Yeah.
looks dead.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, but in Resurgence, I wouldn't watch it. I don't think it's that good, but maybe we could talk about it on this show. Um, but this movie is better because of the star power of Goldblum, Will Smith, Bill Pullman. Like these are charismatic actors, and it's good and it's fun to see them on screen. Like I think that this movie is still heralded as having one of the best kind of like go gung ho like let's go get them speeches in movies. I think it's between like this and Braveheart or something. Like I think is what I normally see. But yeah, so the movie is just dumb fun, it's and then they have a little bit extra to not make it just completely just dumb. But you can watch this movie, turn your brain off, and have a good time, or you can go in, watch this movie, and be surprised that you are liking some of these characters, or they're getting you to like them. You know.
Mhm. Yeah, I
So
agree. It's
yeah,
nice. I love the cast a lot. Like it was just really good to see them all together. I think it was just also really fun and surprising to just to see everyone because like I guess because it was so long ago that they probably like to afford all of them in one movie now would be like wild.
Impossible.
Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah, yeah. Um, like Will Smith is not in Resurgence because he was filming Suicide Squad at the time. So, but they did get Bill Pullman and Jeff Goldblum
Jeff
to come back.
Goldblum. Nice.
So, but yeah, like there's so we know how I feel about this movie. We know where I stand. We know that I'm excited about this movie and I have a lot of fun with it. There's one part of this movie that made me go WTF out loud with my friends. Do you know what part of the movie what that was?
Um, no, tell me.
Near the end of the movie, when they're showing how the rest of the world is like taking care of the aliens, they're going across like the globe and showing different countries to show that they took down the aliens. And the only thing they could think of when they chose to go to Africa was to show like a couple of kids in tribal wear with spears running up and cheering at the aliens that are being destroyed. And we were just like, we literally saw that and was just like, what are you talking about? Do you think Africa does not have a military? What? But what do they do? Chuck their spears at the freaking alien ship to bring it down? What are you guys doing? Wakanda's like, yo, we already been here. We already took care of these aliens like a long time ago. Wakanda forever. That's how we do. Like, what are they doing? That is like the one thing in the movie where it's just like they go to other countries and it's just like regular people or the military of that country. The only thing they could think of to show Africa was kids in tribal wear holding spears. Really?
I was wondering what that was. I was confused. I was just like, why are they showing this? I legit did not connect that. I so now that you mention it, I remember seeing it and I was just legit confused about what I was seeing. I was like, I literally was asking myself, what is this? Because I didn't understand that that's what they were trying to show.
Yeah.
That's
It's so bad.
awful. That's awful.
Like I can't, no matter what, can't say this movie is perfect because they got that crap in there.
It's so America. It's America.
Good job, you. Good job, us.
Pat on the back. Yeah, South America. Good job.
Oh God.
You saved world because world need you. Good job, America.
Right. I love like what you said. I love how British like the UK is just waiting. It's just like it's about time someone came up with something to do. We've been sitting our hands basically. What do they want to do?
We were
Like,
just
oh
waiting
gosh.
for America to solve this problem, and like, what he the exact word was about bloody time.
Bloody time.
As if they were literally just sitting there waiting for America to give them the answer.
Right? Oh gosh, it's
Yeah.
ridiculous. But anyway, what else you got? That's everything about for me. But what else you got that you want to bring up?
I found the guy who played the Secretary of Defense. His character was like, by the time we got to the end, I was so annoyed because like here we have Jeff Goldblum being like, here's the answer, here's the plan, and like after he said the plan, I was like, that's a pretty good plan. Yeah, I think that's fairly solid. And then he was like, but then this, but then that, and I'm like, you're just being a naysayer. All you're doing is being like, we can't do it, we can't do it, we can't do it. Shut up. Like if you're gonna say,
He just wants to blow things up with nukes.
I know. It's like the thing that bothers me is like you can disagree. You can say no, I don't think it'll work, or like no, I don't think we should do this. But then you can't just say no. You have to say I think we should do this, or I think that like instead of this we should do this. Like you're not helping solve the problem. You're just being annoying because you're not helping.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
literally you're literally contributing nothing but annoying. So shut up.
Yep, he kind of is the worst. But I do have to say, I gotta get mad at Jeff Goldblum when he was trying to do his old demonstration about the shield, with the ship because and he puts the Coke can on there and he asked like Alec Baldwin, to is it Alec or Adam? I don't know which Baldwin that is.
I don't. I. It's not Alec.
It's Adam. It's the guy from Firefly.
Yeah,
That's the bald
I
one.
don't know, I don't remember his actor name.
Okay. Anyway, but the character, he asked him to shoot the can, right? Knowing that the shield is up. And what happens when he shoots the shield? The bullet ricochets in a room full of people. I was just like, yo, bro, I would literally punch you in the throat. Like someone could legit die from that.
Yeah.
And then they drop the shield and he shoots the can. But that was the one time I was like, yo, Jeff Goldblum, what are you doing? Like, and they make it a joke, and people are like, what's wrong with you? But no, a bullet ricocheting can still kill somebody.
Yeah.
So angry.
Yeah, that was weird to me. I think the other thing that I thought was annoying was just how many times all the characters say David. Like, I feel like I don't know anyone else's name, but like they say David so much in the movie. They probably say
That's true.
David in this movie more than Rose says Jack in Titanic.
That's probably true. But did you notice they also had a reference to 2001: A Space Odyssey?
Yes, that Hal was like his screensaver or something.
When he opens his computer, it says
Yeah,
"Hello, Dave."
I 100% caught that.
I didn't catch that when I was a kid because I hadn't seen 2001 by then.
Mhm.
But now I recognize it as an adult.
Yeah. Um I think that's pretty much it. I thought it was interesting when Will Smith's character punches the alien and then it gets knocked
Welcome
out.
to Earth.
But then later you find out that they're wearing armor, so I was like, how does that knock the alien out?
Right? Yeah. No, exactly.
But sure, I
Like
mean,
I
it did just crash in its spaceship, I guess, but still.
Yeah. And then the other thing about it being that the aliens are as fragile as us, which I thought was nice as far as making things a little more even. But it does technically mean that, um, well, I guess a couple of scientists don't really know how to fight, but it does mean that, a couple of people should be able to fight one alien.
Mhm.
But fine, scientists are scared and they're running away, so the alien just takes advantage, whatever. But if they're just as fragile as us, that's actually good because it means that they can die pretty easily once you figure out how to get past their technology, which they bring up in the movie. So
Mhm.
I like that level of balance.
Mhm. Yeah. Overall, I enjoyed the movie. I wouldn't say it's a bad movie. It's not a perfect movie, but there are a few
No,
of those. So, but yeah, I liked it. I enjoyed it. Would definitely watch it again. It was pretty fun.
I'm glad that you got to experience it. One other little bit of trivia for you: when Will Smith is dragging the alien, and he says like, and he complains like, "What the heck is that smell?" That is because no one told Will Smith that where they were shooting. It's something about either like the shrimp that are beneath the surface or whatever. They're either dying or they're mating or they're releasing, their bile or whatever. But it creates a smell, and no one told Will Smith that that was going to happen. So when he is dragging he's actually reacting to a smell that he's actually smelling in the scene, and he turns around and does what he does because of that smell. He uses it, but no one told him that it was going to stink like that where they were shooting.
Nice, nice. That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder where they were
So
shooting, but yeah, I also thought it was funny when he brought the alien to the place and they're like, you need an access code or whatever, and he's just like, oh, take a look at this, and they're like, oh yeah, go go go. If yeah, I
yeah,
think
movie
if
should have
I
just
was the
been
guard, I would probably be like, yeah, go go.
yeah, like get the heck out of the way, yo. Movie should just be Will Smith as himself. Oh gosh. But yeah, like that's what we thought about the movie. We enjoyed it. We had a good time. Have you guys seen it? What did you guys think? How did you guys celebrate your Independence Day? Did you guys watch this movie? Because now I think I might have to make it a yearly thing where I watch this movie on Independence Day or the day after, just because. But whatever you thought about the movie, comment below. Let us know. And while you're down there, if you give us a like, share, and subscribe. Even if you don't, though, I have been Chris, and this has been
Cheryl, and we will see you all next time.